am Double H here, joined by Randy Pan.
Man.
We are about to get into it, Randy Pan. Ole Rollers, #1 seed in the West, taking on Philly Roller Girls, #2 in the East, as Dwayne so eloquently put.
He did say that one of those two teams would win, and I think he's right.
He's got to be right.
This is going to be crazy because Philly have had an up and down year, but lest we forget, last year at championships, Philly played Ole Rollers closer than any team other than Rocky Mountain who beat them. They played them last year. Even this year, no one's come close to that point spread. It's a question of whether or not Philly have another strategy to take them to it.
That's right, and being announced right now, Philly Roller Girls are coming onto the track very shortly. We're going to run through the roster right now. Number 06, Castro. Number 13, Wendy Whiplash. Number 15, Persephone. Number 22, El Viento. Number 29, Coppertop. Number 305, Shanita Stretcher. Number 527, Heavy Flow. Number 668, Olivia Face. Number 67, Derelicts. Number 72, Gloria Grindem. Number 8, Mo Payne. Number 85, Teflon Donna. Number 87, Goldie. And number 93, Gingivitis.
Taking a lap there, saying hi to all their fans and friends. Coming out next are the Ole Rollers from Olympia, Washington, #1 in the West. Featuring 03, Adatrix. Number 2, Sassy. Number 28, Blonde Ambition. 2 tons of heifer. 2X Scare It to Death. 30, Stella Italiana. Number 300, Hard Times. Number 33, Little Tonka. Number 4x4, Wheeler. 523, Liquor and Split. Number 7, Hockey Honey. Number 8, D-Bomb. Number 9, Tannibal Lecter. And number 911, Intended Anger.
As we were saying before, the rosters, you are absolutely right, Randy Pan. Philly has had a very sketchy season. They won the season #2 seed in the East, which has brought them here. They got to meet Naptown in the first round. They handily dispensed of Naptown. Naptown, who had given both Windy and Minnesota a run for their money in the North Central playoffs. So certainly Philly looking pretty good, taking on the #2 seeds in this tournament so far, and the #3 seed. We're going to see how they do with the #1 seed, Randy Pan.
Absolutely. You know, Philly tend to really focus on strategy, and Ole focus on execution. We're going to see the distinct styles of these two plays and which one will pull out ahead.
Well, on the jammer line for Philly, number 15, Persephone, up against Adatrix, 03 for Ole.
All right, Philly taking the back wall right away there. Adatrix being caught up behind it.
Persephone getting pushed on the inside. She's through. She's looking for the outside. Comes up against a 2-wall.
That's Hockey Honey in front, giving her business, and looks like a legal procedure from Adatrix. She probably started off the line too early, did not yield, so she's going to the penalty box.
Philly gets lead jammer status first. That is Persephone, goddess of the underworld. She jams for the Broad Street Butchers in her home season, coming up the back of the pack.
But already, so we have a 3-3 pack right now, only one jammer, and that's Philly. It looks like Intended Anger going to the penalty box. I did not see the call, I'm afraid. Philly putting their defensive wall on Hockey Honey in the back.
That is Gloria Grind and putting her behind him. Meanwhile, Persephone is through for 5 points. Philly drawing first blood, Randy Pan.
She was able to muscle past Scare It to Death and D-Bomb there. Now we just have 2 separate walls, Wall of White up front. Philly trying, I think, to open up the pack, but it did not happen as Hockey Honey is handling Persephone.
Gloria Grindem got Hockey Honey out of the way, just enough for Persephone to try to get through. Great recycling here by Ole, pushing Persephone to the back of the pack. Meanwhile, Gloria Grindem and Gingivitis trying to give her a shove, but Persephone calls it, Randy Pan.
That was 3 points there for Philly, so that's going to be, no, sorry, maybe 2 points. I think they corrected that. So, wow, that was incredible. Hockey Honey, there is no defense like a good Hockey Honey. She did a great job of holding the line there. Speaking of lines, we're coming up to the Dr. Hauschka jammer line.
And that is Shanita Stretcher right now, 305 for Philly.
And two Philly skaters there. Starting off on the knee, we have 3 Ole skaters, and there's still a power jam, still advantage for Philly. Adatrix quick out, but it looks like
That's Teflon Donna. I was going to say, if you want to have 2 skaters in your pack, you want to have Teflon Donna and Olivia Face. Meanwhile, Wendy Whiplash coming off that bench. Looks like Shanita Stretcher coming up against a
Sassy
two-wall.
and Tannibal Lecter right there in front. Sassy with a hit to the inside. Shanita Stretcher almost came in, but she fell, so she would not pick up a cutting the track major.
That's right, and it looks as though Adamatrix has lead jammer status for Oli.
And we still have the wall in front holding out. It looks like a major cut call to Shanita Stretcher. Bummer timing.
This is not what Philly wants to see, especially right out the gate, and that looks like it might be a 5-point pass, says Coppa Phil for Adamatrix.
Adamatrix was able to muscle her way through that wall, and now it looks like Oli's taking an offensive position trying to screen the wall, and it was just a huge offensive block from Tannibal Lecter, opening up an outside lane, giving another 5 points to Adamatrix.
Great work, Wendy Whiplash, Olivia Face, Teflon Donna trying to wall it up in the back.
We have a no pack there for a second, so Philly got into its place. Adamatrix going for the inside there, but it looks like Tannibal Lecter trying to open the outside. So Adamatrix decides to take it. Gets another, boom, 5 points.
Great work finding a hole on the outside. The three-wall and back could not contain her, and that is the jam, Randy Pan.
That is the jam. Oli have taken the lead, our first lead change of the day, 15 to Philly in blues, 8.
Liquor split on the jammer line for Oli. Shanita Stretcher still in the box for Philly. This could be a great situation here for Oli to put some points on the board. Meanwhile, Heavy Flow, Gloria Grindem, and Persephone trying to take the front. It looks like Oli is preferring to take the knee.
If we want to take to you out there to talk to us, Twitter us at hashtag #TalkToWFT88. That's the number 2. And send us your feedback. Liquor and split, and the inside line wedged open by Oli offense. That is lead jammer for Oli, Double H.
Meanwhile, Hockey Honey, Sassy taking the back with Wheeler
And
and Heifer.
It looks like they want to slow it down and then going for some offense to open up a hole.
Meanwhile, Shanita Stretcher out of the box, a nice three-wall up in front from Philly.
Nice escort to the inside, sending Liquor and Split to the back. Meanwhile, Shanita Stretcher trying to push up the whole wall of Oli up there. We're getting close to no pack, but then Heifer comes back to bridge a little bit. Good timing.
And they are forced to let her go. Shanita Stretcher is through. She is not lead jammer.
Liquor and Split still lead jammer. I don't think she sees Shanita Stretcher coming, so Shanita Stretcher gets in. Let's see how many. That is a 1 to 3. Oli picked up 3 on that. Philly picked up 1, 2-point advantage for Oli.
WFTDA would like to thank some of our sponsors, including Spenlin Media. Outside the Lines, a new kind of T-shirt at the Spenlin Media booth, or go to spenlin.com.
Adamatrix up the line, number 03 for Oli in white and brown.
Coming up against Teflon Donna.
She can get out of anything. She's slippery like that.
And Philly drawing the no-pack call right away, taking a knee. Meanwhile, Tef trying to find an outside line. Adamatrix working the inside line, coming up against Castro. Tef makes it through first to become lead jammer and gets recycled as she falls around turn 4.
So Tef is keeping an eye. I like this. She's watching too. She does see. She was waiting to see if Adamatrix could get out before she called it off. I like that discipline. I like that mental discipline there. She could have just called it off right away, but I like that she was waiting to see if she had an opportunity to get through.
It has often been said that Teflon Donna is one of the smartest skaters in all of roller derby, but she is also technically very, very scary when let loose in a pack. Meanwhile, it looks as though Gloria Grindem is going to be jamming for Philly.
And that is Hard Times up at the Dr. Hauschka jammer line, or everybody line, as one of our lovely people out there told us on Twitter.
That's right. Grindem trying to get past Liquor Split at the front.
Hard Times caught up in the wall of blue in back. It looks like that is Liquor and Split and Sassy being the pivot there. Last line defense. Out of play is called. Liquor and Split going to the penalty box, I believe, for an out of play call.
That was a block to the face, actually. Block to the head, Randy Pan.
Thank you, Double H. And we have lead jammer for Gloria Grindem.
Gloria Grindem working that inside line, getting some help from her girls in blue, making it through, and that looks as though it's going to be a 5-point pass for Philly Roller Girls.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, displayed by Rock, and there it is, initial pass for Hard Times, giving an opportunity for one more scoring pass for Philly.
Full deck of cards for Philly, 4-on-3 here in the pack advantage Philly. Gloria Grindem stuck at the back, still great 3-wall up at the front, great defense by Oli.
Yeah, Philly almost picked off Wheeler, but Wheeler was able to get up front, protect those points. 0-0 on that pass. 18 Ole Rollers, 14 Philly Roller Girls.
WFTDA would like to take this opportunity to thank Adam Wheels. Adam Wheels, the official wheel of the WFTDA. Randy Pan, I bet a number of skaters out there are skating on Adam Wheels.
You know, I bet it takes a certain kind of skater to own and run Adam Wheels, specifically Adam Matrix on the line right now, 03.
And that is number 87, Goldie, on the line for Philly. Philly taking a knee, calling that, getting that no pack call right away.
And blocker advantage, 4-3 there. Looks like Philly already trying to push through, but Adam Matrix sneaks through the inside line, takes lead jammer for Oli.
And Goldie did such a good job there. However, she's coming up the back. She got a back block call, and she is going to the penalty box, and now it is a power jam for Ole Rollers.
Well, here is where Oli do their work. You know, they're great at executing, but their ace in the hole is executing at an advantage. They usually take this opportunity to run up the score. We'll see if they can do that here against Philly.
Speaking of advantage, the one advantage that Philly does have here is they have a full complement of blockers.
It looks like Liquor Spec coming back to the back, so we have 4-4 right now. That is a 5-point scoring pass for Adam Matrix and Oli in brown and white, and that's 23 points now.
3 walling it up at the back. Teflon Donna, Castro, heavy flow, get some assistance on the outside.
Huge offensive hit there by Sassy, but she took herself out with it. Looks like Liquor Spec picked up a penalty there as well. 3 points on that pass for Adam Matrix, pushing the score to 26-14.
WFTDA would like to thank Rydell Skates. Rydell Skates, a proud partner and the official skate of the WFTDA. As before, I have to believe a number of skaters here are skating on Rydell.
I do. You know, you got that Rydell Adam Wheels combo, and you can't be more official for the WFTDA.
So we're starting off here in a power jam. Stella Italiana on the line for Oli. Meanwhile, Goldie in the box for Philly.
We got Scared to Death, and Tano Elector is in the pivot helmet for Oli. Philly doing a great job getting up front and holding defense, but it looks like Blonde and Bitchin escorted Gingivitis to the back there.
Persephone getting a call on that as she pushed Stella out of bounds. Stella is lead jammer. Persephone headed to the box for Philly.
Followed by Tannibal Lecter there. It looks like a quick run through from Philly's jammer.
Philly doing a good job roughing up this Oli pack. 2-walling it up at the front. They force Stella to call it at turn 2, forcing her out of bounds, and that looked like 2 points for Stella.
Close bout so far. Philly doing a great job. First of all, staying on the track. Second of all, that back wall is working really well for him right now. If they can keep on this and they can keep executing at this level, they can nickel and dime their way back to a very, very, very tight scoring bout.
Well, 2 Titans on the Dr. Hauschka's jammer line. Shanita Stretcher for Philly and Adam Matrix for Oli.
3-2 blocker advantage for Philly. Ooh, beautiful hit from D-Bomb to the outside on Shanita Stretcher, recycling her back into the pack.
And Adam Matrix is lead jammer for Ole Rollers with Shanita Stretcher hot on her tail, Randy Pan.
But Shanita Stretcher is definitely going to try to force her to call off the jam as quick as possible as Philly's blockers get to the front to protect those points. We may look at a 0-0 here. And we are looking at just that, 0-0 on that pass. Good defensive holding from Philly.
Well, Adam Matrix has certainly been prolific for Oli, putting up 23 of those 28 points for Ole Rollers. Meanwhile, Persef has been Philly's high scorer. Right now on the jammer line for Philly, Mo Payne, number 8, coming up against Stella Italiana, number 30 for Ole Rollers.
You mentioned her being prolific. Also being prolific is Elemental Technologies. They're very prolific about being the world's most powerful video processing solutions. I think that's an interesting coincidence. 3-2 pack advantage for Oli now. And it looks like Stella Italiana muscles her way through the front wall, lead jammer Oli.
Mo Payne still trying to fight her way through the inside, trying to get some help from Heavy Flow and Gloria Grindham coming up behind Heifer.
Hockey Hunting going to the penalty box, so now we're looking at 2-2 in the pack there.
That's a no pack call, and it looks like
2-1 in there.
It looks like Lil Tonka going to the box for a destruction call, or a failure to reform, excuse me.
Mo Payne was able to get out, hold the scoring to 3-0. Still advantage Oli. Oli are just taking very, very small chunks, but they're the only ones taking points right now, so it's definitely working in their favor.
And I'd say both of these teams looking at similar penalties in the penalty box. The high penalty scorer for Oli right now is Liquor Split. Right now, Derelicts for Philly. So both of these teams looking to keep their pack advantages. Right now, that's Philly.
Philly 3-2. Teflon Donna doing a little bit of defense, escorting Tannibal into the back wall. But Tannibal opens up the wall by herself, gets through lead jammer right out of the pack.
Meanwhile, Tef working at the front against Sassy.
If you got that HV feed, you can see the smile on Sassy's face. She loves defending jammers in the front there.
And I just know Tef was wondering where that out-of-play call was coming, but they were still in play. I know she was.
Oh, just soaring through the inside line, but right behind her, Teflon Donna matches her point for point. 4-4, both teams right now, Double H.
That's right. Once again, she is lead. Tannibal Lecter is lead for Oli, but she has not called it. Tef scoring points behind her. A full 4 in the pack for Philly.
Now, I believe she's getting this signal from her bench coach, Eric, to keep going, and I believe that's to get their blockers back onto the track. Kill time, match points, but they want to go out with a full regiment because they know they have an advantage there.
And they are doing a good job of exactly that, burning the clock to get their skaters out. She does call it. That's another 3 points for Philly and 4 for Oli Rollers.
I'm going to take a second to check out No Mercy, the new Derby photo book from Jules Axel Adams. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one, too. You can check it out, too. You can get it online, Amazon.com. No Mercy from Jules Doyle. Beautiful play by you see Animatrix going to the inside line. Look at her skates on that line. Doesn't go over. Takes that beautiful, beautiful execution.
And speaking of execution, Persephone, goddess of the underworld, jamming for Philly. Meanwhile, Liquor Split for Oli Rollers coming up against the back of Shanita Stretcher. El Viento getting forced out on turn 1. That is Philly's lead jam. That is Persephone, lead jammer for Philly.
She was able to push Hockey Honey out 20 feet, and there's the opening for Liquor and Split. Philly racing to catch her, the last line of defense, but Liquor and Split gets it out and out of play.
Copper Top forced to let her go. Meanwhile, Persephone still trying to find, it looks like a wedge of blue on the inside. She gets forced out. Huge takeout of Scared to Death, and Persephone calls it for a gain of 2.
Persephone. That's going to take them to 23 to Oli's 39.
It's been a while since I've heard you say that, Randy Penn.
Every
Just
time.
whispering her name. WFTDA would like to thank Roller Girl Skates. Look for Trigger in the crowd. She's here somewhere. Anyway, go to rollergirlskates.com to learn more.
I just want Persephone to release her own perfume, and I want to be on that commercial. Persephone.
That's going to work out well. Also working out well, Animatrix on the jammer line against Goldie for Philly. Goldie trying to scissor through her girls and back.
Philly consistently with the back wall, Oli consistently with the front wall. So usually it's just a war of attrition between jammers and walls. Goldie cycled to the back there, it looks like. Animatrix finds the outside line, takes it, lead jammer Oli.
Great work by Animatrix finding that line. It looks like Heavy Flow, Olivia Face, and Derelicts were busy trying to do some blocking in the middle of the pack for their jammer. Didn't quite get Goldie through. Goldie now up at the front, trying to get back. Gets recycled immediately back.
Animatrix sneaks into the pack. They didn't see her coming. She found that hole. Gets a quick 5 points for Oli. Going for some offensive blocking to open up that wall, but that wall is right now watertight.
This is a Heavy Flow headed to the penalty box for Philly. It is now a 4-2 pack advantage for Oli Rollers. Goldie still struggling to get through. Oli doing a great job walling it up, keeping her behind them.
Well, it looks like Philly have reorchestrated their defense, but this is what Oli does. They can capitalize on advantage. Just a quick can opener there. Gets Animatrix out front, but not all the way. Good reforming in front from Philly. Forcing her to call it off. Only 3 points on that pass, but still Oli pushing the lead.
That's right. Goldie had made it through for her initial pass and was rounding the back. Great work there by Oli. Great defensive work. We are at a score of Oli Rollers 47, Philly Roller Girls 23. You are watching us on WFTDA.com. WFTDA.com. We are proud to bring you this coverage from WFTDA of the Big Five 2011 championships. And it looks as though we are taking a time out for Philadelphia, Randy Pan.
Well, Philadelphia, they really thought it was important for us to thank some of our sponsors, and I appreciate them for that. So we're going to do that. This is on behalf of WFTDA and Philly for taking this time out. We want to thank ProTech Dent Mouthguards, TICSkateGear.com, Durbalife, Derby Skins, Union Vacations, Derbyology, and Fast Girl States. So give some love to them and Philly for giving us a chance to love them as well. Possibly Philly also wanting to change the momentum here as well. I think it's mostly they wanted us to thank these guys, but I think they want to recalibrate.
And one of the ways they're going to do that is by putting Persephone on the jammer line. She has scored 10 of their 23 points in this game so far. Meanwhile, Liquor Split coming up to the line for Oli. Liquor has scored 3 of Oli's 47. So we again are at a score of Oli 47, Philly 23.
And Philly at a huge pack disadvantage here. 4-2 in Oli's favor, and they're already opening that up. But my goodness, Persephone gets out front. Oh, finds the opening right away. Lead jammer, Double H.
Great work off the line from Philly's offense. With just 2 in the pack, Gloria, Grindem, and Teflon Donna. Again, if you're going to have 2, they're 2 pretty good to have. Persephone looks behind her.
She didn't see Liquor and Split come through. Liquor and Split got a 4-point scoring pass, so Persephone needs to at least match those points before she tries to call it off.
And she's got eyes in the back of her head right now, and she calls it. And that looks like a gain of 3 for Philly to Oli's 4.
So advantage Oli 1 point on that. With 12 minutes and 40 seconds left, Oli with a lead, but it's a 25-point lead. Not insubstantial, but so far, Double H, we have a very low-scoring bout, so these leads become that much bigger in that case.
At West Region, we interviewed D-Bomb, and she said, which team are you really afraid of? What teams are you actually afraid of playing in the championships? And she actually named Philly as one of the teams that she thought were extremely unpredictable, and their season actually proves it. Philly has had a very up and down season. They have ended it on a high note, coming in the number 2 seed. Shanita Stretcher on that line against Stella Italiana. Stella takes off like a rocket, and she is lead jammer.
Well, Oli right now with the 4-1 pack advantage, it would be they'd be hard pressed not to take lead jammer. So it looks like you have a split pack there that opened up Shanita Stretcher to do some damage control. Meantime, Stella Italiana quickly got through for 4 points.
Once again, we have a pack advantage for Oli. Derelicts and Heavy Flow are the only 2 Philly skaters in there. Stella calls it.
Stella waited a little too long on that. She went to check in, which is always good, but Philly got to release a blocker in the meantime, so that worked out a little bit more for Philly, as they're going to have 3 blockers on the track now. Double H.
And out of Matrix for Oli, and Mo Payne for Philly. Mo has been a jammer twice here, and she has scored no points so far for Philly Roller Girls. 26 points to Oli's 55.
Oli doing a great job keeping their blockers on the track, and it is helping them execute a lot. We do have the jam whistle called, but the jammers have not been released yet. I don't know if they know this or know why.
Yes, they do. They know this. This is a strategy that we've seen before. If you watch the West Region playoffs, it has often been a very stressful strategy. I know for a lot of folks, a lot of fans.
In this particular case, I think they're waiting. I think Philly's waiting to get their blocker contingency back.
Yep.
So they take the knee. Now they're going to send their blocker up front to set a no pack situation. No penalty for that because they're setting pace there. We have a jam, Double H.
Exactly. The pack has not been called yet, so they can force it. Meanwhile, Oli out of Matrix gets through to become lead jammer. That did not work out in Philly's favor, even though they did have the pack advantage.
I'm surprised Oli didn't get it started. I mean, they have a lead, so there's some comfort there. But it's already, you want to push that lead as much as possible. Adam Matrix comes up to the front wall of 4 Philly blockers.
Great work up at the front by Gloria Grindem, Ginger Vitus, Teflon Donna, Persephone. Huge jammers themselves now blocking at the front, and she calls it. That's 2 for Philly and 2 for Oli, Randy Pan.
Yeah, Animatrix did not see Mopane coming, so that was an even odds. Still in Oli's favor as they're still ahead. A lot of just aggressive play out there. And, a lot of it's like they're getting smacked back and forth. And I don't know if you've ever been smacked by rollergirlskates.com yet, but you can. So go to rollergirlskates.com.
I haven't been smacked recently. Let's just say that. Not recently.
I haven't asked for it recently.
Well, asking for it right now is Goldie jamming for Philly Roller Girls up against Tannibal Lecter. She is asking for lead jammer status. She might just take it if she can get through that 2-wall up at the front. Great work by Oli. Meanwhile, right through the inside, Tannibal Lecter, lead jammer for Oli.
That front wall is D-Bomb and Blonde and Bitchin', the Tamachio sisters up front, and they have done a great job of containing there up front, but we do have her released. Meantime, Blonde and Bitchin' go into the penalty box.
And the 4-wall in the back just dissipates, giving room for Tannibal to get through, and she calls it. Meanwhile, Copper did not see her go past, became a point. That was 4 points for Oli Rollers, Randy Pan.
Well, when you got all the Philly blockers out there, they're doing a great job at maintaining that back wall. The key is they need to keeping them out there in order to slow the roll. They're going to need a big jam pretty soon, but still they're containing the lead to not too far out of reach.
I think communication and pack placement has been a huge issue for Philly this season with their walls. If they can regulate that, they can do well. Gloria Grindem jamming for Philly right now.
And that is Animatrix caught behind that Philly 4-wall we were talking about. Wheeler going in for some offensive blocking in the back to open it up for her. She does. Animatrix gets out front, lead jammer.
Awesome wedge up in front from Oli. Finally letting Shanita through. Oh, there is Gloria Grindem, makes it through.
Beautiful wide open pinch for the inside lane. Philly just orchestrated themselves, open it up, push them all to the outside to open that up. She's a quarter track behind right now, Double H.
Okay, so Philly pack advantage 4-2. They've got a front wall, walling it up in front of Animatrix, and she looks behind her and calls it immediately, seeing Gloria Grindem, and that is no points. Good work by Philly's defense there up in front, Randy Pan.
That's a 33-point lead from Oli right now. 7 minutes, 23 seconds left in this first period. So we're well within the realm of reason. I like the low-scoring bouts because I like the defensive play that it suggests. I also like Antic Boots a lot, Reckless Wheels 2, and Moto Bearings, revolutionizing roller derby. I love all those things, as well as a really good defensive bout.
I love seeing Persephone and Tannibal Lecter on the jammer line. Persephone grabbing that inside line, trying to get through, getting hit behind Hockey Honey.
In the meantime, Tannibal Lecter, with the little slalom there, gets through, trying to open up a wall. I mean, there's only 2 Oli blockers out there. Finally, there's a pinch to the inside.
And this is where Philly has been lacking during this game. They cannot, they are 3-walled it up, and they just let her go, fearing that the pack was behind them, but they hadn't gotten the no pack call. They hadn't gotten the 20-foot call yet. A little bit premature. Philly's blockers need to do a little bit more communication in that pack, Randy Pan, if they want to keep Oli's jammers from scoring points on them like Tannibal Lecter right now.
Yeah, Tannibal Lecter already back in the pack. She's coming up against the wall there. Finally, we got a release there.
Meanwhile, Persephone grabbing 4 points for Philly.
Tannibal Lecter not taking it, and then she waited. She only got 3. She could have held out a little bit longer to get a 4th point, but Oli are in a comfortable enough spot. Why not call it? Get a few more jams in.
And you know what? We would really love to hear what you have to say about this game, because it is extremely exciting from where we're sitting. So if you're on Twitter, please give us the hashtag #TalkToWFTDA. That's talk the number 2 WFTDA. We want to hear what you have to say. Are you enjoying Oli Philly as much as we are? We have 5 minutes and 30 seconds roughly on that clock with Shanita Stretcher and Stella Italiana on that line.
Shanita Stretcher trying to take the outside, but D-Bomb was waiting for it. Now Dion's on some like one-on-one with a hop, skip, and a jump, but she is still locked in the back there, Double H.
Shanita Stretcher, one of the fastest pair of skates you will see in the country. Great technical work from her. She's doing a little bit of her own defensive blocking, gets Stella Italiana down by turn 4.
Beautiful execution there. The Castro going to the penalty box, so it's reducing Philly to a 3-wall. Around the outside, just peeking past.
And that
we got
is
Shanita Stretcher.
Lead jammer for Philly. This is a big opportunity for them to set the pace here with a 3-on-3 pack.
Well, they got D-Bomb held up in the back, so Shanita Stretcher gets the front wall, calls it off before Stella Tani can get through. Much needed 4 points right now, pushing Philly's score to 36 against Ole's 68.
All right, WFTDA would very much like to thank Hex Chromosome. Hex Chromosome is high attitude, high performance athletic apparel.
We got a good shot of Shanita Stretcher orchestrating through that entire wall there, one blocker at a time. Great execution, great skating from Shanita Stretcher there.
And that's the kind of skate work that she is known for. Number 72, Gloria Grindham, coming up against number 3, Adametrix. There's an illegal procedure call there somewhere. Philly's not happy about it. We're going to take a look and see what happened up at the front there.
That was blocking before the whistle. You got to wait to the whistle before you're engaging the other blockers. Inside lane there opens up for Adametrix. She is lead jammer.
Great work from Adametrix thus far in this game. Meanwhile, Gloria Grindham still trying to make her initial pass, trying to find an inside line as Adametrix just rips right through that pack for 5 points, says Copperfield.
That is the power of Adametrix speed. She gets around the packs, or she gets around the track so fast, you're not ready for her to come through on a scoring pass usually.
Gingivitis going to the penalty box for Philly.
Hockey Honey all up in number 72, Gloria Grindham's face right now. Just one-on-one blocking, holding her with a huge blocker advantage. 4-2 for Ole here. Ole, I think, is going to push the score a lot in this jam.
And Ole has been so much more successful with the walls in this game than Philly has. Persephone just looks extremely frustrated out there trying to open up these walls along with Castro for Gloria Grindham. Meanwhile, Tef out of the box for Philly.
Adam already had a quick 5-point scoring pass sneaking through the inside. Another little slalom, outside, inside, outside, inside, and she's through again. Probably another 5. Yes, it is. Huge run there for Ole to push up the score 88 to Philly Roller Girls 36.
Adametrix putting down 48 of Ole's 83 points in this game. The only high scorer on Philly right now, Persephone, with 17 points. That tells you a little bit about how both of these teams are playing jammers and how both of these defenses are totally wreaking havoc on those jammers.
Well, this is what I keep coming back to with Ole. Beautiful look at her just get through on the inside with a lot of force, that speed. She can make her own openings, and she does. Stella Italiana trying to navigate that Philly back wall right now.
Shanita Stretcher trying to get through for Philly. Teflon Donna.
Inside lane opens up for Stella Italiana. She is your lead jammer there.
I apologize. That is heavy flow working the inside. Meanwhile, Shanita hot on Stella's skates.
She's about a quarter trap behind there, and it looks like we've had a switcheroo. Beautiful outside hit there from Olivia Face. She was just that. We're going to have 0-0 on that jam.
Philly four-walling it up at the back. That is a strategy that they have been working with that has not been super effective. Their walls need a lot of help if they are going to be coming back in any capacity in this game. Right now, Ole 88, Philly 36 with just under 120 on the clock, Randy Pan.
The walls are working okay when they're out there and they get to execute, but as soon as Ole's jammer gets through, Ole goes all offense, and they know how to pry open that wall, so they need an antidote to that, whether it's finding their own offensive opportunities. I'm not sure what. They do have a 4-2 right now.
And that is Goldie and Hard Times jamming.
Goldie caught behind, scared to death, so Hard Times is able to get around the front lead jammer. Goldie about 15-20 feet behind there.
All right, here's a great opportunity for Philly to wall it up. They've got a 4-wall in the back. That looks like Teflon Donna, and it looks like they just ripped that right open. Ole's defense doing such a good job with that.
We want to clarify what's going on with the starting on the jammer line. All the blockers are starting on the jammer line because they want to take a defensive priority. They want to set up their wall, and they want to catch their opposing jammers as quick as possible. If the jammers get any speed, they have a lot more maneuverability. They're starting with a knee on the ground. One team will do that to get the jam started right away because it creates a no-pack situation. If there is a no-pack situation, the jam starts. We want to skate. We want to play. We want to get going, especially if you're at advantage. you want to get that going. We saw another example there. Animatrix caught behind the Philly 4-wall.
So right now it's not entirely a wall as much as it is a U, and that's been a huge advantage for Animatrix. Meanwhile, Gloria Grindem gets through. Well, that is one of the problems. The wall has morphed into a U from time to time in this game, Randy Pan.
Hot on her heels is Animatrix. Now the penalty clock is expired. This will be the last jam of this penalty. Gloria Grindem gets through, but did not get a scoring pass before the 4 whistles blew. That's 0-0. This will be the score going into the next period. Oli 89, Philly 36.
Gloria Grindem not looking happy at all about that last call. She thought she had a couple of points. And we are at the half, Randy Pan. Oli Rollers 89 to Philly Roller Girls 36. Philly has burned one of their timeouts. Oli has not burned a single timeout, which makes me a little bit fearful if I'm Philly going into the second half, knowing I do not have a full arsenal of timeouts to call. I have a feeling that is going to become extremely important in the second half, Randy Pan.
Well, Philly, we're going to need to focus down and go to their happy place and stay on the track. You know, if they can get out there and they can keep their skaters out there executing, they can start getting through and getting those lead jammers. But they're going to have to stay on the track because Oli can execute not just with all their blockers on track, but Oli are great with executing with 2 blockers. We've seen that happen a lot.
We are 89 Oli Rollers, 36 Philly Roller Girls at the half. I am Double H here with Randy Pan.
Meh. Oli Rollers with a comfortable lead, 89 over Philly Girls, 36. And also, one thing going into the second period is Oli are a second period team. They get warmed up in the first period, but they tend to far outscore in the second period. So Philly have got to really, really buckle down coming into the second period.
Well, like all good Philly sports teams, Philly Roller Girls are also very much a second period team much of the time. What concerns me here in Philly's performance thus far has been the strength and the placement of their walls and the communication between those walls and their jammers.
So I just want to check in with everyone out there who's watching according to the brackets. So far we have 8 perfect brackets left out of 700.
I'm betting I'm not one of them.
I'm knowing I'm not one of them.
Well, WFTDA would like to take this opportunity to thank several of our sponsors right now. Green Monster Roller Sports, featuring Antic Boots, Reckless Wheels, and Moto Bearings, revolutionizing roller derby. Also, Derby for All, experienced derby skaters getting you the right gear to take you to the next level. And Derby Supply, the best customer service in the business period. Derby Supply. WFTDA would also like to thank 5on5 Magazine. 5on5, the official magazine of the WFTDA, 5on5mag.com.
With 3, 2, 1 left in the halftime, we are going up to the second period of Philly Roller Girls taking on Oli Rollers. And surprise 03 in white and brown, Animatrix up on the Dr. Hauschka jammer line.
Coming up against Shanita Stretcher, number 305 for Philly Roller Girls. Shanita has only scored 5 of Philly Roller Girls' 36 points in this game so far, as opposed to Animatrix, who has scored 53 of her team's 89.
Looks like we're going to go into a blocker advantage for Oli right here, and they are sending out the blockers indeed. That is Intended Anger, Blonde and Bitchin', D-Bomb, and Tannibal Lecter.
And it looks like Olivia Face, Teflon Donna, and Castro is that 3-wall in the back taking a knee. Meanwhile, Gingivitis in the box for Philly.
Starting on the Dr. Hauschka line, everybody's starting on there to go ahead and get their defense going. Animatrix already wrestling through an already lead jammer for Oli Rollers.
Shanita Stretcher working on a 2-wall in front.
It's Intended Anger and Blonde and Bitchin'. Blonde and Bitchin' had a nice hit earlier on her that recycled her to the pack. Animatrix already sneaking through on her first scoring pass. In and out and around, 4 points for Oli.
She got right past Taff and Castro and Face in the back. Again, this is the kind of communication and awareness that Philly really needs to hold on to here. They really need to know where those jammers are, Randy Pan.
They do. Right now, I can tell them that Liquor and Split, number 523, is right behind them on the Dr. Hauschka jammer line.
Well, you know who else is right behind them is Gloria Grindem. Gloria is going to be jamming for Philly.
she's going to be jamming right between Wheeler and Hockey Honey.
Gloria has scored 5 of Philly's 36 points. Meanwhile,
well, Liquor and Split gets you right away. She had an opening made for her by Tannibal Lecter, who just broke through the wall. She got to ride the wake. She's lead jammer and first out. Sassy giving Gloria Grindham some trouble right now, Double H.
Great work at the front by Sassy and Tannibal Lecter. That 2-wall that they're creating is really great at holding Gloria Grindham behind them. Meanwhile, Dara and Heavy Flow and Persephone trying to come to their jammer's rescue.
Well, they've walled up in the middle there, and they've been holding Liquor and Split for about a full lap here on her first scoring pass. But Gloria Grindham still hasn't gotten her initial pass. She hasn't gotten past Sassy yet.
And Persephone's coming to the front to try to dispatch with Sassy for Philly.
But then Hockey Honey got right in front again. They are doing a good job recycling her, keeping her in. Yet Liquor and Split finally just breaking out for her first scoring pass. There was an opening for her. She was able to run through and get 5 points for Oldie Rollers.
Right now, Philly expending a lot of energy trying to get their jammer turn strategy right now and walls it up at the back. They changed strategy on a dime, realizing that they need to prevent some of the hemorrhaging here at the back of the pack.
While they were resetting, Liquor and Split already came through and got 3 more points for Oli.
So that was some pack awareness that Philly had that worked out well for them, reforming that wall at the back to act as defense. That was a good strategy. If they can keep that pack communication, that wall communication, they can start to make a difference here. It looks like Mo Payne going to be taking her intentional 4th minor behind the jammer line.
Shanity Stretcher on the jammer line for Philly Roller Girls in blue and black, and in white and brown, number 30, Stella Italiana jamming for Oli.
Shanita already threw her girls, looking for a way to get past Oli in the front around turn 2. Still trying to juke, doesn't quite make it. Stella is lead jammer for Oli.
Sassy, Heifer, and coming up with her Hockey Honey all catch Shanita in the front there.
Olivia Face in the penalty box now for Philly. Shanita forced out, forced to go around and back.
Heifer cycled her to the back. Still her initial pass. Stella Italiana on her scoring pass. You got Castro in the back waiting for her, but she jukes around on the inside-outside, finds her opening. 5-point scoring pass for Stella Italiani. What did I tell you about their second period?
So we're going to have Castro and Teff in the back. It looks like Castro trying to open the wall a little bit, but that's a 4th minor for Teff Londana.
And that's leaving Castro out there with Shanita Stretcher. In the meantime, Stella Italiana made a major cut going to the penalty box there for Oli. This is a power jam for Shanita Stretcher. Still on her initial pass, and she's caught behind Sassy. No pack call by the refs, which means they have to let Shanita Stretcher go initial pass.
And it looks as though Heifer's going to the box for an out-of-play major on that. And this is a great opportunity for Philly to be scoring some points here with just Sassy, Mo Payne, Castro, Olivia Face. This is the power jam that Philly has been waiting for, Randy Pan.
I tell you what, there's no such thing as just Sassy all by herself, escorting Shanita Stretcher to the back of the pack. Philly's blockers not there for Sassy. Picked up a penalty there, but they couldn't let her go until there was an opening in the box.
Lil Tonka, the sole white and brown in that pack. That is a 5-point pass for Philly. Mo Payne headed to the penalty box. This is a revolving door right now for Philly Roller Girls.
Both teams really want a 2-person pack out there. The jam is called. On time. Oldie 106, Philly 41. Nice look here coming from that Stella Italiana. That's Castro catching her. But Stella outside, inside. The hole is already made by a screen from Oldie Roller's blockers. Getting that very important initial pass.
And starting off on a power jam, Gloria Grindham for Philly. And that's, yep.
Yep, we have 2 blockers total, Tannibal Lecter and Persephone. Persephone with an offensive block, and Tannibal gets in front of it, sneaking through it. Stella Italiana comes out of her penalty, gets lead jam there, Double H.
What could have been a no-brainer for Gloria Grindham turns into a bad situation for Philly, as Stella Italiana has lead jammer status for Oli. Meanwhile, Gloria still duking it out the front, finally gets her initial pass. Persephone headed to the penalty box now for Philly.
Wow, Teflon Donna trying to catch Stella Taliana, but no, she's the only blocker out there. Stella Taliana gets out 4 points. Doesn't see Gloria Grindham in there in front. Fourth minor picked up by Heifer going to the penalty box, but Stella Taliana gets through, gets 5 points there, Double H.
I imagine she did see her. Oli is known for really letting the jam go in these kinds of situations, and they are really wearing their opposing jammers down hard. That was 4 points for Gloria Grindham on that pass.
4 more points for Stella Taliana. You have a great point. They probably are trying to get their blockers out there because neither team had blockers out there, and it helps.
So the amount of effort that Philly's jammers are expending trying to get through these packs could potentially be worth it in Oli's eyes. They are expending energy. We're at a high altitude. And right there, Gloria expending energy.
And Hannibal Lecter with a beautiful offensive hit. You know, the jammers do a lot of work, but a lot of times it's the blockers who make the openings for them, and that was a great example. Hannibal Lecter doing just that. Animatrix, 03, up at the line.
305, Shanita Stretcher looking for a line on the outside behind Olivia Face. Meanwhile, Animatrix getting blocked out of bounds, jumps back on the track. Shanita Stretcher juking over a fallen skater, but no, they're calling that a back block major. Shanita Stretcher and El Viento headed to the penalty box right now. There are only 2 blockers on that track for Philly to Oli's 3.
And Animatrix just trying to get around on her own. Oli just trying to keep it slow, and that's good because Animatrix can skate fast. So she got through lead jammer. That's her initial pass, Double H.
Olivia Face trying to do some defense in the back, gets pushed down on the inside, and they're calling that a cut major.
She got the cut, then tried to fall to avoid the penalty, but it was too late. She already made the penalty. That's going to be another 5-point scoring pass for Animatrix.
It looks like there's room for her in the box finally. Face going to the penalty box. Gingivitis on the track for Philly along with Persephone, who's fresh out of the box. We are 4-on-2 pack advantage. Oli.
On the last pass, there was only 1 blocker out there, and Animatrix had an easy time getting past her. Philly, nice, slowing down and stopping a wall for her. Animatrix go ahead and calls it 0-0 on that pass, but with a comfortable lead, that's going to work out fine for Oli Rollers.
WFTDA would like to thank Vanilla Skates. Let Vanilla Derby take you all the way. Speaking of taking it all the way, Shanita Stretcher, that was the back, and you could see her shake her head and say, oh, man.
Stella Taliana in the power jam position there. Shanita Stretcher standing in the penalty box, so she'll have less than 10 seconds.
And let Vanilla Derby take you to success with our leather Renegade and straight jacket boots. Vanilla Derby. As we were saying before the replay, the jam is started. Shanita coming off that box. However, Stella Taliana, lead jammer for Oli.
And we have some reinforcements, including a jammer. She's coming up against Sassy, Blonde and Bitchin, and Hannibal Lecter. That's never easy.
Nice.
Beautiful inside.
Yes.
No, that's going to be a 5-point scoring pass. Amazing pass from Stella Taliana.
Great work jumping the turn 4 on the inside. She calls it. And that is what Stella Taliana is known for. There are no points on the board for Shanita or Philly on that pass with the score of Oli Rollers 135, Philly Roller Girls 46 with 20 minutes left in the second period, Randy Pan.
Liquor and Split, number 523 up at the Oli Rollers jammer.
And that is Mo Payne on the Dr. Hauschka's jammer line along with her. Mo Payne right now only putting up 2 points out of Philly's 46.
4-2 blocker advantage. This is probably going to work out really well for Oli right now, putting their defense in front. And Liquor and Split runs around the outside, but she gets caught up by Philly's pivot. Meantime,
Mo Payne is lead jammer for Philly. This is the kind of momentum shift that they've been looking for. Let's see what they can do with it with Persephone and Teflon Donna blocking. Mo Payne finding an inside line, getting a couple of points in the back.
Liquor and Split found her outside lane, so she made her initial pass, but looks like Mo Payne got caught up there. She did pick up 3 before calling off that jam. Good for Philly.
And those are the kinds of smart plays that Philly's going to need to make. They did a great job defensively in that jam with the blockers that they had.
They can make some, do you see that beautiful run there on the inside there? Making some smart plays. Another smart play is to go to Derby Supply, the best customer service business, period. So it's smart plays like that that are going to work out great for them.
working out okay for Philly right now. Gloria Grindham, number 72, who scored 10 points for Philly. However,
Liquor and Split round the outside, takes the lead jammer. Oli doing a good job of opening up a lane for their jammer consistently.
Philly, who's already played Naptown in this championships already, looking tired in this second period. 3-walling it up at the back, Olivia Face, El Viento, Gingivitis.
Gloria Grindham finally pushing 20 feet out at the front wall of Oli, but Liquor and Split in there. One last blocker, gets it, calls it off, 4 points. Oli pushing the lead to 139 to 49. There's a 90-point lead right now, Double H.
So pack wall reinforcement is something that Philly is having a really hard time with. Hockey Honey just opened them right up at the back in that last jam, and that is the kind of reinforcement that they are going to need to work on with just under 18 and a half minutes. Shanita Stretcher and Adamatrix on the Dr. Hauschka's jammer line, Randy Pam.
We got 5-on-5 out there, so we got full blocker contingencies. Philly need those blockers out there right now. Taking the back wall, which when executed has been working well.
Adamatrix trying to push her way through a back wall. Is she getting the back block call? She is.
Nope.
She is not. And it looks like there's a block to the head call, sending Persephone to the box. However, Shanita is through. She is lead jammer for Philly. Persephone, I think this is going to be her 4th time in the box. And this is a power jam for Philly right now. And it was a back block, Randy Pan, that we saw.
I believe it was. So power jam only, but they have all 4 blockers out there. Only 3 Philly blockers, and Oli are exactly where you want to be in this situation. That is out front. They're going for the wall here instead of the race, but the no pack, I believe, got called, so she had a wide open pass. 5 points for Philly.
5 points on that. Meanwhile, Teflon Donna, heavy flow, Castro lumbering at the back, trying to slow it down, that is exactly what they did the last time. They got that no pack call. They slowly slowed the pack down to no pack.
But that was, I think, a distraction called there for
That's Teflon Donna.
Yes, indeed. Heifer escorting Shanita Stretcher to the inside. Shanita calls it, picks up 2 points. In the meantime, they want to start the next jam in a power jam situation. Here's a look at that play where she gets caught up in that wall, sneaks through. That was when the no pack was called. Now, when there's a no pack situation, that means the blockers are not close enough to each other to define a pack. You cannot engage the jammer.
That's right.
So they had to let her go through that wall.
That's right. You're not allowed to engage, and Philly was trying to use that as a strategy. I think they felt that some of their blockers were expendable penalty-wise. One of those was Tef Mopane jamming for Philly, starting it out as a power jam.
But they have a 4-2 blocker advantage again for Oli. Meanwhile, Adamatrix back into the game. I don't know if they see her. She's already navigating the pack there, while the Oli front wall holding on to Mopane.
Well, Derelicts and Persephone see her, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's not going to get by.
There we go. Derelict's going for the hit there, but she gets in and round, and she is lead jammer Oli Rollers.
Mopane looking for some help from Dara on the outside, gets through for her initial pass. So now we are 3-on-3.
Oh, they tried to execute the wall, but they went to the outside, so Adam took the inside, calls it 3-0. Advantage Oli on that jam, Double H.
So another thing that I noticed there, they walled it up, and when they saw Adamatrix coming, immediately Olivia Face broke out of that wall. That was a good strategy. She slightly whiffed her, though. You got to get a little bit more accurate in that targeting. A very accurate skater at times. Shanita Stretcher on the line for Philly, coming up against Hannibal Lecter for Oli Rollers.
And Philly Roller Girls with 2 out there. They had a blocker disadvantage. They started anyway because time is not on their side. They need to get going. They need to get the points as quick as they can. Hannibal Lecter takes a hit on the inside, but it wasn't enough. She gets through, lead jammer. Shanita Stretcher gets past Sassy there, sneaks through. She is the follow jammer, and she's about a quarter track behind Double H.
It looks like Gloria Grindham gets a destruction of pack call going to the box for Philly. Shanita Stretcher trying to get through on the outside. Teflon Donna back in the mix from the penalty box for Philly.
Now, Hannibal Lecter had an opportunity to call. She didn't, and it's working out all right because Sassy is able to cycle Shanita back into the pack there.
It looks like Castro also got a destruction. So Philly trying out that strategy. It's not working for them. The box is full, so she's going to have to come back. Castro will have to come back.
I like watching that sometimes when you have a lead jammer situation. The other jammer gets out, but the lead jammer decides, I'm going to trust my blockers. I'm going to keep going for this. I'm going to push the time. I'm going to rely on my pack to do the defense so I can push it. And it worked because Oli's defense is doing a great job containing Shanita Stretcher.
And right now, Teflon Donna is the only Philly roller girl out there blocking for Philly. Castro is allowed back in the box. Derelicts back in the mix, though, just as quickly. She and Tef trying to work the front of the pack for Philly.
And they are, and the beautiful inside pass there from Tannibal. She goes ahead and calls it. She gets another 4-point scoring pass. 3 were picked up from Philly on that jam, though.
Mo Payne back on the Dr. Hauschka's jammer line for Philly against 523 Liquor and Split.
Liquor and Split.
And Persephone is the pivot for Philly.
Persephone.
And I'm wondering if they're going to do anything with that Randy Pan. We've seen a lot of star passes recently throughout the weekend, and I know it's something that has been happening, so you never know with Perseph on that, wearing that pivot stripe.
Well, we had looks like D-Bomb picked up a 4th minor for an illegal procedure. I believe that was hitting before the whistle. That is my guess right now. So that's 1 less blocker in the box there. And
right now, Mo Payne is through for lead jammer status.
It looks like Liquor and Split trying to navigate the front wall. Philly doing a great job putting their defense up front. Beautiful inside Glory Grindham. Glory Grindham going to the penalty box for that. 5-point scoring pass for Philly.
Persephone and Olivia Face doing a good job keeping Liquor behind him. Mo Payne slices through that pack. Persephone falling, looking around her. That is a 5-point pass for Mo Payne.
10 points there. Liquor and Split finally making it out of the pack. It looks like Mo Payne going for another scoring pass here. Liquor and Split catches up really quick. Doesn't pick up anything on that. 2 points there. 2 more points. 12-point jam for Philly, and not a moment too soon, Double H.
Teflon Donna on the Dr. Hauschka's jammer line coming up against Stella Italiana. Now, I was talking about the star pass. It's not something that we've seen in this game at all, but it's something that we had seen a lot in the Charm Minnesota game, and I mean a lot. And so it's something that we've seen in the East region. It's something that we know that has been done in the playoffs. So I'd be surprised if we didn't see it at some point during the game.
Philly are consistently lining up in the back. Wow, another lead jam there. Teflon Donna for Philly Roller Girls. They do have a blocker advantage there of 3-2, and those 3 are holding up Stella Italiana right now, Double H.
Philly had a nice 3-wall, and as I like to call it now, the 3U. Meanwhile, Teflon Donna slices through the pack for 4 points, I'm thinking, and that's 3. There must have been a penalty there preventing that. She's looking at her jammer ref. That was a no pass, no penalty, no point.
It looks like Stella Italiana is catching up. Teflon Donna, I think, trying to bide her time there, but oh, wow, Stella was able to get through to pick up 2 points. She bided about 1 more second than she should have. Definitely want to get your blockers out there, but you need to also err to enough caution to protect those points. But we do have 4. There she is getting through there. Beautiful run from Teflon Donna. We have all 5 Philly skaters there.
And we have Shanita Stretcher back on that line. Shanita having 20 of PRG's 74 points, the high scorer, of course, for Oli at Matrix.
Jamming for Oli right now. Hockey Honey, I believe that's her first jam, but already through Shanita Stretcher. That's the 3rd lead jam in a row for Philly Roller Girls. They have found some momentum here, Double H.
Good work by Philly defensively. I think they need to stay out of the box. Persephone headed to the box for Philly. She, I'm betting, took up her, that was a back block.
Shanita able to push 20 feet there, get through, calls off the jam before any points could be scored. There was a minor cut there, so she only got 3 points of it, but it was a 3-0 pass. Nickel and diming with 10 minutes left. Philly are still in this. They have to keep on this lead jammer game right now.
And to try to do that, they are putting Mo Payne back on that line, who has 17 points on Philly Roller Girls 77. And she's coming up against the high scorer for Oli Rollers, 70 points for Adatrix out of Oli's 158.
She's on the line there. We have, it looks like 4-3 blocker advantage for Oli. I want to see if Philly can keep this momentum going with the lead jammer there. She's up against the front wall. There she is, Mo Payne, lead jammer, getting past D-Bomb there.
Philly getting their groove back. Derelicts, Gloria Grindham, Teflon Donna trying to wall it up at the front. It is an Ole pack advantage right now. Derelict's going to the penalty box for Philly, and that was just 1 point, and Mo Payne called it. They're going to fight for every single point for the rest of the 9 minutes, and here's that replay. Mo Payne fighting on the outside, and she jukes, gets through the inside. Great work there by the squirrel, Mo Payne.
That's where she gets that name.
That is her power animal. We've not seen much of the power animals this season, but they're still there.
4-2 blocker advantage for Philly. Teflon Donna, 85, jamming against Stella Italiana. I'm imagining Teflon might go. Oh, beautiful hit there from Philly.
Teflon Donna getting recycled back on the inside. Meanwhile, Stella Italiana picking up lead jammer status for Philly. Olivia Face headed to the penalty box. Sassy headed to the penalty box.
And it looks like we have only one blocker out there right now. No, we have two now. Stella Italiana on her scoring pass. Daniel Belector going to the penalty box. Everybody going to the penalty box except for Teflon. She makes her initial pass. Stella Italiana gets a 4-point scoring pass. And they're just going to the penalty box, Double H. They're just going.
You and I are not going to the penalty box.
Yet.
We're watching this awesome game, and if you are too, hit us up on Twitter at Talk2WFTDA. That's Talk 2 WFTDA. Back to the action, Randy Pan.
Scared to death, and Blonde Bitch and protecting the points from Teflon Donna as she's in there holding a line, doing a really good job of that, while Stella Italiana comes back into the pack. Again, she's lead jammer, but again, she's not calling it. I believe she's pushing the time to get her skaters back, and they have enough of a lead to do just that, Double H.
Get her skaters through, and Teflon Donna is through for 4 points. They are doing a great job of wearing Philly down, aside from getting their skaters out of the box. Stella turns around, sees Tef, and calls it. That was 3 points for Stella.
Stella out, so there was 7 total, so they outscored her by 3. With 7 minutes, 20 seconds left, and an 80-point lead. It is looking desperate for Philly right now. 3-2 pack advantage, though, going to this jam.
That's right. Philly taking a knee. They're going to get the no-pack call right away off that first whistle. Number 72, Gloria Grindham jamming for Philly against 523, Liquor in Split.
Liquor in Split. They're off. Gloria Grindham all the way already up against D-Bomb and Wheeler. Out of play call. Sorry, no pack call, so that opens up. And Gloria Grindham is your lead jammer.
Great 3-wall in the back. The 3U, the 3 donut, morphing into 3 shapes of any size. And that looks like we have another Ole blocker headed to the penalty box. Wheeler. Gloria Grindham gets through for 4. 4 points for Philly.
6.5 minutes. Pushing it up. That is going to be a 79-point lead now. We have a beautiful look at, there's Gloria Grindham going around the outside. See Sassy, gets around, checks in with her bench. You see her looking in. That is such smart play. You know, I love responsible jammers who checking in to see exactly what to do, because maybe they have an opportunity to push it.
Pushing it on the Dr. Hauschka's jammer line right now, Mo Payne and Adametrix.
Back wall already set up by Philly. Hockey Honey doing a great job.
Yep, and that is a forearm major for Hockey Honey.
She gets Mo Payne to the back. Inside lane there. She gets past Heifer. She is lead jammer, Double H.
Talking about second period teams, Philly showing up big for lead jammer status. They haven't been able to do much with it, though, Randy Pan, and that is absolutely the key. They're not going to be able to get away with just getting a point here or there if they're going to put those points on the board. Mo Payne sneaks through, and that is no points. Crappaville says not a gain at all for Mo Payne on that pass.
You know, Philly have been doing a great job executing in the last 5 or 6 jams, but it's just not enough too late. With 5 minutes left and 79-point lead from Ole here, it's going to look really, really good for them. We have Adametrix up at the line for Ole.
Persephone jamming for the Liberty Bells.
Persephone.
And it looks like Gingivitis, El Viento, and Castro forcing that no-pack call right off the whistle.
We got Tana Belector there and a back block on Persephone. Back block by Persephone.
This is the opposite of what Philly wanted to have happen. Adametrix is going to wreak havoc in the back. Castro going to the box for Philly. We're 2-on-2, Randy Pan.
Intended Anger and Dan Elector going for the great offensive blocking, but Intended Anger goes to the penalty box for that, while Wheeler comes back out. Still 2-2. Well, we got some reinforcements from Shanita Stretcher right now. Double H. Nope, I was kidding.
Shanita headed to the box for Philly, and it looks like there's a counterclockwise block being called. That is a minor. 2-on-2, still 2-on-2. Oh no, it is now 2-on-3. Pack advantage, Oli.
Hey, quick inside pass there. 5-point scoring pass from Adam Matrix. Hockey Honey trying to open up that front wall of El Viento.
They are trying to wall it up at the front. It doesn't quite work out for them. Elle gets recycled to the back, and she's working on Adam Matrix at the back.
And Gingivitis, last line of defense. Animatrix jukes past her, calls it. 5 points there, 3 minutes, 40 seconds left there. And we see
that is the back block that caused Persephone to go to the penalty box for Philly. She's shaking her head as she gets there on the instant replay.
You saw it on the instant replay. Her elbow was against her back, and you saw her pushing. That caused the fall. We want to thank Skate Court taking your league to the next level with Skate Court Roller Derby flat tracks. And they go well with Wicked Skatewear.
What doesn't go well with Wicked Skatewear?
Nothing, really.
Stella Italiana out there by herself, coming up against the likes of Derelix and Olivia Face. Dara taking her down. She gets right back up and sneaks through the inside to become lead jammer. Great skate work there by Stella.
Persephone is back, gets through initial pass there. 2-2 in the pack with Philly up front, Double H.
And I'm betting we're going to have another evil time-burning technique from Oli Rollers where they just let the other jammer go ahead and score those points. But no, she calls it off.
Psych.
That evil time-burning technique that Oli absolutely has the opportunity to use with the score of 175 to Philly's 86.
Evil or just smart? I honestly am a fan of the time-burning technique.
I'm going to call it diabolical. I believe it's diabolical. It's definitely, as much as it is a clock burner, it's definitely a head game, and one of the smartest head games in the game right now on the Dr. Hauschka's jammer line is Teflon Donna coming up against Liquor and Split.
Liquor and Split. So with the 3-2 pack advantage, Philly putting their wall on the back, no pack situation.
Teflon Donna, lead jammer for Philly. As I said, she's one of the smartest minds out there. Philly Roller Girls like to think they are brains plus heart, and that is certainly very much what Tef is about.
Well, now they're skaters, too, because they got their full contingency out there. Beautiful inside pass from Teflon Donna for a 5-point grand slam. Liquor and Split finally navigates her way around. She is on her initial pass.
That's right. Tef is going to try to get as many points as she possibly can because you can't eke away here. You got to go big or go home, and she does. She gets through, and now I'm going to call that 4. That's 4 for Tef.
It's 1:20 left. We're going to start this next jam with 50 seconds left. And I'm going to start by thanking Blood and Thunder Magazine, issue 18, and World Cup tickets available online.
And there's that replay of Tef getting through the inside. She smashes through.
But that was beautiful. Her engagement all happened on the shoulder and the back of the arm. Totally legal target areas. Also want to thank Che Sportswear. Che has a new line of derby lifestyle clothing. Check it out online. CHE Che.
On the Dr. Hauschka's jammer line, Mo Payne and Adam Matrix. Adam Matrix out first like a rocket, Randy Pan.
She is lead jammer. Now that Philly have a pack advantage right now, she was still able to navigate. We have Sassy and Tannibal up front holding on to Mo Payne and putting her into the back of the pack, Double H.
Mo Payne finds that inside line, gets through.
Initial pass there. We have less than 30 seconds left in this period. If the period clock ends, this will be the last jam. But it's not going to because Adam Matrix is going to call that with 4-0. Now, unless Philly call a timeout, which they do, there will be one more jam at least.
We would like to thank Five Stride Skate Shop, the preferred shop of Bonnie Thunders, D-Range, Psychobabble, Susie Hot Rod, and Teflon Donna, who is on that jammer line right now as we speak.
Also like to thank Flat Track Revolution, Iron Doll, Bruised Boutique, Derbyville, and Sin City Skates. Sin City Skates, you can pick up Rydell Skates with Adam Wheels.
Yes, you can. And you can watch all of this beautiful action thanks to Elemental Technologies, who provided the encoding, the world's most powerful processing solutions, right here in action on WFTDA.com. Speaking of the action, Randy Pan, let's get back to it.
So the timeout is still on. It is a 1 full minute. We do have a 4-2 pack advantage for Philly, and they're going to have to pull off the most amazing jam in history, an 80.1 point jam, to bring this home. It's a little bit out of reach for them. So I think they're doing this one for the glory. They're doing it for Philly.
For the glory of love?
For the glory of you Philly fan out there watching this. Oh, nice run by Teflon Donna around the outside. Takes a hit from Sassy, but keeps on taking as she is your lead jammer. Liquor Split navigates her way around. We are 1 second, 0 seconds left on the period clock. This jam is going to go to its natural conclusion, and naturally we have a 4-on-1 pack there. Sassy, the only blocker out there, but she can probably handle it.
All the bells working together to get their jammer past. Taking a nice whip in the middle, Teflon Donna.
Liquor Split catching up to the pack right now. There's a pile up in turn 2. Teflon calls it, takes the 2 points, putting Philly at 97, Oli 175, Philly 97. That is going to be about, oh, you see Sassy and Teflon hugging out there. Looks like Oli Rollers are going to advance on to tonight's semifinals.
Great work here by Philly, putting up 95 points to Oli Rollers 181. They have fought really hard to get here, to get to this season, and I know Philly fans are proud, and Philly Roller Girls have done them proud today. Great jamming by Philly. We're looking at a high jam for Teflon Donna for the squad. 23 points for Philly Roller Girls, 95. And of course, Adamatrix high score, 84 of Oli's 181. And we are going to get you guys back to all the awesome action this weekend. Hello, I am Double H, and we are here at the 2011 WFTDA Championships live in Denver, Colorado. I am joined by my friend El Viento from Philly Roller Girls, Liberty Bells. El, you guys had quite a fight against Oli Rollers today.
We did. We worked hard.
You certainly worked hard. But let's talk about something else. We've had a lot of conversation today about altitude training, about championships training. I guarantee you, very few skaters have had it as hard as you have had it this season. Earlier this season, Elle was diagnosed with breast cancer, and you have been undergoing chemotherapy while you are training for championships. Explain how you were diagnosed and then the process of chemo.
Sure, absolutely. I was diagnosed last April with breast cancer. I had found a lump in my breast, and it went from there. It was quite a shock. Doesn't run in the family really, and so I had surgeries, and throughout my surgeries I was still skating. I skated at the ECE a few weeks after my lumpectomy, and that was one of my goals. I had the tortoiseshell bra. I was really determined to skate. And since then I started chemo August 1st, and it's been tough doing chemo and training, but I really did not want to give up, and as much as people said I wouldn't be able to do it, or when I got too tired I could stop and it would be okay, I didn't want to hear it. So
anybody who has anything to say about altitude sickness can just get out of your way this weekend, right?
I don't know, I was still worried about altitude sickness, but we got here a few days early, so it was okay.
And one of the things I think that is so important is that you didn't give up. You stuck with roller derby as much as roller derby has stuck with you. What has roller derby meant to you throughout this entire process?
Well, your team and your league becomes part of your family, and my husband and my family and my team, they have all been so supportive, and it's just meant so much. I mean, my teammates say that they couldn't skate without me, they give me praise, and it's all a mental game, so I think the mental part was the hardest. Just like convincing yourself that you are still capable of doing it when people are giving you the out that you don't really want to take. So it's been tough, but
and never once did you take that out. Never once this season did El Viento take that out.
Right.
I am so proud of you. I am so impressed by you always. I tried so hard not to cry through this entire interview. We have seen some great fight this weekend. Once again, El Viento, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Hyman.
We are going to return you to the action coming up in just a bit.